Hello.
Hello. I was
Hello,
still looking
long
at
time.
the cable of my microphone.
Nice. Mine's hidden away in the arm of the mic holder, but it's yellow.
Yeah, I kind of messed that up. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes.
It's been
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah. We had to miss last week because you and I were a bit ill. Still got a bit of it now. And Karl was at a customer site in good old London, so he couldn't attend.
Yeah, we were not feeling well last week, and
No.
I literally had no voice at all, just nothing. I had nothing.
Yeah,
But
it was quite funny.
it's back. Yeah, we had to cancel some work stuff as well, unfortunately, or let's not cancel, move it around.
Yeah.
But we're back, and we've been doing a lot the past 2 weeks. I think the show before that was the pre-recorded show for Dwayne.
As you're back to school,
Yeah,
yes.
as you're back to school for
Dwayne.
Dwayne, which was our session about flux and GitOps and the
Yes.
flux capacitor.
Yep.
So this is our first live show in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because we were at Prague when that went live as well. Experts Live.
Experts Live,
really
which
nice.
was good. It was good. It was very good. It was nice seeing everyone in person again. Yeah, and Prague is a nice city. So
yes, yeah.
was
Unless
well
you got a
organized.
bad back, then it's not so nice because it's cobbled streets everywhere, lots of hills.
Yeah,
hurt a lot.
we have seen you walk. It was painful to see as well. Hopefully, it gets better soon.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, no, it does suck, mate. Hopefully, it gets better soon. All right, back to our schedule. What we've been doing last week? See, you're still. I'm still coughing. I mean, when I started laughing, I started laughing this morning, and it just goes over into a cough. I mean, almost everyone I know is currently off sick. For some reason.
Some reason.
Yeah, bad colds, all that stuff.
Yeah, it seems COVID's having a comeback as well for certain places, so I've got to keep away from that. But
it does sound like that.
Yeah, for sure. But for me, work-wise, it's been quite busy. Lots of Kubernetes updates because we had a CVE out. Some designs for some customers to do with Azure Kubernetes services that I started working on this week. Helping out a lot of other people. Reviewing some marketing material, making sure we got all that right. Reviewing an ebook that Intercept's going to be releasing soon. So that should be good to do with security and stuff like that. So it's been quite a busy time while suffering from a bad back, trying to not be in too much agony constantly. So yeah, it's been an interesting one, shall we say.
Yeah. Hopefully it's gonna get better soon, mate. Just hard to focus with a bad back. So
yes,
but, quite busy.
Oh, and obviously we did that workshop yesterday, didn't we, as well? Which
the summer recap.
Yeah, Azure summer
with the mad PowerPoint skills.
Yes, which you learned from TikTok.
Yes, I did. And it was very funny that you recognized it within a second that came from TikTok. It did.
Yep.
All right. Myself, I'm just gonna be honest, I have a huge backlog of things to do. I'm still struggling with email. I was on a holiday for 2 weeks, came back, went to Experts Live, came back from Experts Live. I was gone for a week being sick. So I think, to be fair, this is really my first week back doing things. I've been almost out of the game not out of the game. I mean, we went to Experts Live, but I did not do a lot of work for about 3.5 weeks, unfortunately. But and that means you have to catch up on a lot of email,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm still doing. So that's pretty much my week. Other than the meetings that I have to go through, I did spend some time, but it was not really work. Work, it was more an interest thing on container storage, Azure Container
Mm-hmm.
Storage, which I find a very interesting feature, especially for more stateful applications, more enterprisey kind of things. We've seen that Azure has released in preview, gated preview. I have to say, you have to sign up, you have to be approved.
Mm-hmm.
Azure Elastic SAN, which is your SAN in the cloud, which you can also attach to Kubernetes using the Azure Container Storage. So that's
Very
something
nice.
I've been playing with. Yeah, disks, ephemeral disks, SANs. I was pretty excited about that, just to play with that, run some tests, some speed tests, latency tests. Yeah, that was my technology part of the week.
Very cool.
Yeah. So all in all, it's been a good week, but mainly catching up on stuff, which we all
Not so much
recognize.
fun.
No,
Yeah.
that's not so much fun. It's the kind of thing, right, when you're like, oh, I need to respond to those emails, but then you get caught up in other things, and you still have
Mm-hmm.
that backlog of emails. And then, yes, occasionally someone will email, hey, are you going to respond to my email?
Mm.
Because this thing, I did put it out of office for my holidays, but not when I went to Express Live and was off sick. So there's probably, if you're listening and you're waiting on an email from me, I'm sorry, I'll get to it. So
If it's that
yeah,
important, that email again.
yeah, that's not how I like to do things, but yeah, maybe. All right. We have plenty of news, and today we're going to talk about conferences. So my
Mm-hmm.
suggestion is we move on to the news.
Sounds good.
Lots of
I do
news
like that.
today.
Yeah, it makes me smile every time I see that. It's so much fun there. But yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
the first part of
Because
news.
you made it.
Yeah, because I made it. But the first part of news is we got the call for proposals, the CFP for KubeCon in Paris 2024, which is happening in March, so in the middle
Yeah.
of March, like the 19th or something like that. So if you've got a cool story to tell or a session that you think will be suited, go to the URL or just search for CFP KubeCon Paris and you'll find this URL. Put your thing in and hopefully you get selected and we'll see you there next year. So that'd be cool.
We should put one in.
We should probably put one in, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Knowing our luck, it'll be the same time as the Microsoft MVP Summit like it was last year. So yeah.
So which one you're going to?
I don't know yet. We'll have to see where the Kubernetes Azure Kubernetes team's at. Last year it was at KubeCon, so I went there. Maybe this time it'll be at the MVP Summit. Maybe, I don't know, but we'll find out when we know.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next bit of news is quite cool. Yeah. Do you want to talk about this one?
Yes. This was announced on the Azure side of things around KubeCon, the LTS support. AWS and EKS also have the extended support for Kubernetes versions. It's now in preview, which means that you are not bound to the 3 to 4 month cycle for support, which is a good thing, especially for enterprises, for the bigger companies that struggle with the short cycle of updates that you have to do. Obviously, we always recommend, build your solution so you can easily update and upgrade your Kubernetes version. But we also understand that is not always the case and requires a lot of redevelopment and rebuilding, which everyone wants to do. But I mean, it's a time investment. You also have customers to deal with and adding value to your product. So you want to work on features and not necessarily rewrite the whole thing to be the best fit. So this is a great solution for that, and I'm happy that Amazon is doing the same thing as we're doing in Azure right now. It's great.
And I guess the best thing about the Amazon solution is it actually supports it from Kubernetes 1.23.
Yes.
Which isn't even supported in like other clouds like Azure. They don't even support 123. So it's interesting to see that they've gone that far back and they're going to offer this support. So definitely one to think about if you're running inside EKS. But I also do find the upgrade process in EKS is a lot harder than Azure as well. So maybe that's why they've done it. But yeah.
And we do come across a lot of older clusters. I think AWS also kind of forces you to upgrade at some point if you don't do it. I mean, even though it's not supported, it will happen at some point. Yeah, this will be a solution to that. And yes, the upgrade process is a bit more complex, but it is what it is.
Yep. Cool. Next bit of news is OpenTofu has done their first alpha release. But what is OpenTofu, Wesley?
OpenTofu is, and this is where the discussion starts, is it a fork of Terraform or is Terraform a fork of this? It is the new open source version of Terraform, backed by the Linux Foundation, and backed by the Linux Foundation, that is significant. That means something. We all know that HashiCorp changed some licensing bits, and we're not going to get into the compliance or legal things here, but this is the result of that. People have decided let's start our own version, let's start our own fork, let's start our own branch. OpenTofu. It's now in first alpha release. I think that was last week or the week before. I think, or was it even the week before that? OpenTofu. I do want to say maybe it's 3 weeks ago already.
No, I'm not sure. I just see it. Yeah, it's good to keep an eye on. If you're using Terraform and you don't like the changes with the licensing, have a look at this and see if it will fit your needs, for sure.
But it does sound good with Kubernetes 128 called Planides and OpenTofu.
Yeah. It's all going very green. And talking of Plantinity version 1.28, we've got that in preview now on Azure, and it's live on AWS, and it's in the Rapid channel for GKE. I think you mentioned earlier that there's no date for the Rapid channel to change or something like that.
No, I did not see. Google has a very nice table on that. Well, all clouds, Azure, AWS, and GKE, they all have a nice table on when they're moving stuff to GA. For Azure and AWS, I'm not sure when it's planned for Azure.
I think
AWS
it's around about
there.
December time for Azure. But
yeah. But then on GKE, you also have, I think you have the Rapid channel, you have the standard channel, then you've got the stable channel. Obviously, the standard channel, that's where when it would be production ready. Yeah, so I'm expecting this is going to be happening around the same time, or at least, or before Azure does it, or this year anyway.
Yeah. Nice. And then the last bit of news I got today is there's been a new certification from the CNCF all about Istio. So it's the Istio Certified Associate, the ICA, which is a cool sort of abbreviation. I like it. So if you are doing anything with service meshes, which Istio is like the most popular one, and it works on pretty much every cloud provider and everything out of the box, then go and sit this exam if you want to test your skills, because Istio is a bit of a beast. So it's definitely going to be a fun exam, shall we say, I think. But yeah.
It can be very complex. I do find that they made it easier over the years. But it's still, I mean, it's networking, service meshes. It's always something you really want to wrap your head around. Especially with Kubernetes, it started developer focused, and you probably, or not necessarily have all the networking skills to understand all of that, which is fine. But that can make tools like Istio and even Cilium can be quite complex if you don't understand the networking basics. So,
yes,
it's good that they've got certification to help you get up to speed. Definitely a very good development.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be interesting to see if we're going to get any other certifications for different projects, because I know we've got the Prometheus one already. Now we've got Istio. Will we get one for Grafana? Will we get one for Cilium? Will we get other ones out there?
We already have Kubernetes.
Yeah, so let's get some more, I think, which will be awesome. Yeah.
I think it's good. And what I do find, I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just going to mention Cilium again. Carl's not here, unfortunately, but someone has to say Cilium during the show at
Yeah.
one point, so I'll do it.
It's like it's contractual now. We have to say Cilium
It's like
at
we have to
least
say
once.
Cilium.
Yeah.
No, but what you'll see is that they're not like big enterprises with thousands of people, and they're more. That's where a lot of CNCF projects and open source projects in general. It's more agile, it's more flexible. There's a different approach to things, and that's what you see with companies like Cilium or projects like Cilium. The way they approach training, we did the page the other day and go through. All right, so this is where you can certify, and you just go through the different islands. And I really like those kind of approaches. So, and I really appreciate that everyone is spending time building something so we can learn about it. I mean, not everyone learns from just reading the docs, right?
For sure.
So it's very good.
Yeah, nice.
All right, that was the news for today, I think.
Yes.
All right, then we're gonna talk about tech, or we're gonna talk about conferences. We still call it 10-minute in tech.
Yes.
But it's gonna be 10 minutes of conferences.
Yeah.
All right, conferences. Oh, that was smooth.
Nice transition there. So yeah, the first page. So yeah, we're going to talk about conferences and where we find all the information and where you can find information to go to conferences, not just conferences but other events as well, because there's big conferences, but then there's these small little community events which are very important. So the first one is this website, which is by Learn KAS, and it's like a whole list of news and events and jobs. So it has more than just events, but it's a very good resource. So we'll sort of just scroll down in the page here a bit. So you got the news, you get some exploit stuff, the architecture, K3S if you're using that, which is like a very lightweight Kubernetes distribution. You get a weekly newsletter as well, which you can sign up for email or LinkedIn. But this is the bit we really care about, is this Kube events section. So we can click on, say, the LinkedIn one, and it will take us off to LinkedIn. And you get a nice LinkedIn page here, which you can follow. I'm following them on Twitter, so I don't need to follow them in both places. But you get all of these posts here. So we can click on see all posts, and then we can find out starting in about a week on the 12th of October at 3:30 a.m. UTC, the Open Source India conference is going, and we've got links in here, the timeframes and stuff like that. And then they do even more, like these are the events starting in the next 24 hours. So you can see all of the links here. You've got the Unlocking the Power of Spark and Kubernetes, DevOps Days Indianapolis, Alua scripting in Ceph made easy via Rook. Rook is like a storage thing inside Kubernetes. You got some EKS runtime stuff. It's just such a good resource because it's got so many different community events and bigger events sort of just in this one list of things. And it's not just one region, it is global. Like we've had India, now we've got San Francisco, we've got Netherlands here, Kubernetes Community Day, which we'll go on to about later as well. And that's in December. So, it's such an awesome resource to sort of see so many different events. Another one in Amsterdam. So maybe, Wesley, you could pop over there and have a little play.
Have a look. I should.
Yeah.
I should go to the one in Amsterdam. So, what's before we go to all the other events? What's the benefit of going to an event?
Very good question. So, the biggest benefit, I think, more than anything, is the networking, meeting other like-minded people and talking about the technology, finding other people's insights and what software they're working on, what tools they're using, because then it could fix an issue you're working on. You could share experiences and stuff like that. So for me, that's my biggest one. What about you?
It's definitely networking. I do pop in to watch the occasional session if I find it really interesting. But then I have to say, if I see a session on a technology I'm not familiar with, first I start reading up on it before I go to the session. I mean, for some reason, I feel like feel like I have to come prepared or something. I mean, for most sessions, let's just be clear, you really don't have to. The sessions are usually really good, and people take it from the beginning to to a more deeper level. So it's networking. For me, it's also like a mindset. You're always, running in the treadmill, working, doing stuff every, from Monday to Friday. And then when you get there, you're like, oh yeah, I work with cloud native stuff. I work with Kubernetes. I work with all those CNCF projects. This is what it's about. It's like the vibe. It's like it's like an energizer that lasts for a long time. I don't know. I can't really explain, but that's what does it for me. I mean, I literally
Nice.
said that to you when we went to KubeCon in Amsterdam. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what we need to do. This is.
Yeah.
I know that also helps. But I think the networking part, I mean, if you're up for it, it will bring you a lot. I mean, talking to the projects, what I really find, and even though you've got like Microsoft Ignite, and when the product teams are there, they're very open to discuss the latest thing they just brought out. You can chat with them. With KubeCon, for example, or other open source events, everyone's like that. Everyone's, you can go to any project, any team, and you can just taste the passion of what they're building, and that's what makes it good for me.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. The passion in this community is just awesome. Yeah. And then the next one is, we sort of mentioned it slightly, is the Kubernetes Community Days. And if I get the little URL up the bottom there. So Kubernetes Community Days are like a CNCF-backed project in a way. They are community organized events where you go and spend a whole day learning about Kubernetes. So we've got some in the UK, which is based in London. We just see one is happening in Amsterdam shortly, I think it said the 1st of December from the other thing. So it's really cool to see. You can even set up your own ones as well. But what I really like about these sort of days is, they're just global as well. So we've even got some in South Korea, we got China, we got what's this one, Italy or something, I don't know. It looks like Italy, Venice kind of picture there. So
nice.
Yeah, they are pretty much global. It would be awesome to see some more down in Australia. So if anyone's listening and they're based in Australia and they're working in the cloud native stuff, maybe get a KCD open up down there. But you can see them; they're all over. We've even got some like in like Mexico, Texas. What's this one? Los Angeles, and lots more in Europe. So I'm seeing more like in this sort of European area than America, which I thought is interesting, to be honest. I thought America would have quite a lot. We've got the one down in China over here as well. So yeah, it's quite cool.
Europe's where it's at, mate.
Yeah, it does seem that way. But it would be good to see some more in Africa as well. South America, definitely Australia. We need some below this equator in the southern hemisphere. But it is cool to see all these other ones coming up. So yeah, we've got one here in Salvador. There's the UK one, which is happening very soon, October 17th to the 18th. I'm unfortunately, hopefully away on holiday. Yeah, otherwise I would have probably tried to go. It's run by some cool people, and they've got some good sessions coming up. So if you want to see more about a session, you can just click on this, and it takes you to the actual event day as well, and you can get tickets and stuff like this. So this one is like a very long day or 2 days. But yeah, it's just cool to have workshops and stuff like that. We've got some cool speakers, so like Liz Rice from Solvent, Cilium, Kat from Dow, Anise from Aquasec, Canal from Sivo. These are some big hitters in the cloud native world. Alex Jones from AWS is there. Nigel Poulton, he's going to be talking about WASM and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, go and see. So yeah, I'm gutted I can't go, but I'd rather be on holiday. But it would have been nice to go and see all of these awesome people and see all the sessions. And yeah, it's just down in London, so it's not too far.
Basically, you're saying I tried to move my holiday, but I couldn't.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. But maybe next year, or if they do another one, maybe I should try and convince them to do a UK-based one, but up north as well, sort of near where I am instead of London. Maybe they need 3 different ones, middle, north, south, and yeah.
You
But
could organize one.
potentially, yes, I could organize one, yeah, because it's open to anyone, for the community, by the community, so that's nice. Next up, we have the main events page on the CNCF. So this looks very similar to the Kubernetes Community Days. You got more information about the bigger events. So like here was KubeCon, Cloud Native Con in Detroit. Now it's going to be in Chicago, 6th of November this year. So if you haven't got your tickets and you want to go, make sure you sign up now and go, because it's going to be amazing. And they have all these co-located events. So like Cilium Day, ArgoCon pre-days and stuff like that.
Usually like pre-days, right?
Yeah. So usually it's on the Monday. So it's only one day, and they have all these co-located events. And you've got to try and pick one, and only one you can go to, which is super hard. So for me, I usually always go to the Azure pre-day because of the networking and to find out what their plans are with Azure and AKS. But there's database days, there's storage days, there's Cilium, like I said, Argo CD, Flux days. There's just so many of them. And it's a really cool event because you get to see the project people, you get to see the people who work in the tag SIG members, the contributors, the maintainers of the projects, and they also have it virtual as well. So they have virtual parts and in-person parts. So it's definitely a nice event, sort of focused around everyone really. And they literally just had one in China, and they've just scheduled one for India as well, which is really cool. These are more scheduled. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, no. What I wanted to say about KubeCon being, you can do the virtual things and the in-person things, compared to other organizations hosting like hybrid kind of events. They absolutely nail this. They do this so well. I mean, what you often see is that, you get there in person and then part of it is virtual or something. That's not what this is. That's not what happens. It's really, really well done. You can, it's good. It's just like extending it to the people who were not able to travel. I think it's a different approach to what a lot of other events do.
Yeah, for sure. So like here we got KubeCon Europe is in Paris next year. We've got one in India. We've got the one in China that's just been happening, Singapore. We've got the one in Chicago, which is just going to happen shortly. So it's cool to see. And what's good about it, when you look here as well, you get the Kubernetes Community Days as well, so you can see all the events that they have going on. And if we scroll down a bit more,
you could probably find something to do every month.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, be it virtual or online. But here, you can just see, again, the Kubernetes Community Days, but then we've also got the KubeCons, and then all of these pre-days. So yeah, App Developer Con, ArgoCon, Backstage Con, Cilium Con, Observability Day, Multi-Tenancy Con, Istio Day, Kubernetes on Edge Day, Data on Kubernetes Day. It's just so many different ones, which is really cool. Even at one all about WASM as well, which is a cool technology where I think most of the places are going. So yeah, it's really cool to see. We've got India coming up in December. We've got Singapore also coming up in December. So yeah, I'm really excited for the Paris one as well, because it's closer to home. It's just a short flight away. It's nice to see that they do stuff in Europe and America, which is really cool.
I'm planning on going.
Nice. So that's that one, and then we have the Linux Foundation one, which is very similar to the CNCF one, but
this is a lot.
Yeah, it has a lot more because it takes into account like all open source communities, not just the sort of cloud native ones. So we've got ones for PyTorch, Linux Foundation Member Summit, Open Source in Finance Forum in New York. Again, this is all global again. We've got the ones from KubeCon here again, so you got lots of places to go and find all of these events, and it's good to sort of just keep an eye on all of them to know which ones you want to go to. even a Linux kernel maintainer summit in Redmond, United States, which would be, I guess, a lot of fun if I could do kernel maintenance stuff, but maybe not for me. But yeah, even GitOps Con Europe is happening, which is going to be a virtual event. So it tells you here it's virtual or
Oh.
it's in person. So that's going to be quite a cool event. I think if you're doing anything with GitOps, you probably want to go and check that out on December the 5th to 6th. Yeah. And then Open Source Summit in Japan as well. So this one's a lot more global than the CNCF one. But you can find all the information from the other one here as well. Even one about Cassandra. Like, I didn't even know there was a summit about Cassandra. And that's a big database and kind of solution for people who want to know, usually used with IoT.
Well, and I think what's important here is that there's lots of events. A lot of people also don't know there are lots of events. I think you got the big ones like KubeCon and to a degree the Kubernetes Community Days are very, very obvious and easy to find. But then again, we work in a cloud native landscape, and a lot of things you do, whether they are a CNCF project or not, I mean, if it's open source on any of the pages we just shared, you can probably find something about it and to learn more about it. So it's just it's nicely scoped, it's easily accessible, easy to find. And I think when we started researching, all the types of conferences, we were kind of surprised on how easy they were to find. And I can just recommend, go to events, whether it's virtual or in person. Try to do that in person one once in a while. It's really beneficial. But there are a lot of events in the cloud native landscape, a lot, and that's good.
And look at this. They've even announced KubeCon North America 2024, which is going to be in Salt Lake City. So that could be quite fun as well. And then I've got basically one last conference that if you're in the Microsoft space, you want to probably try and get to Microsoft Ignite in person or online. So they try and do this hybrid event. It used to be an amazing conference based like the one I went to was in Orlando. They rented out Universal Studios for the evening. It was amazing. The networking was awesome. The people that were awesome. They had good the engineering teams were there. You could go and talk to them and ask questions and stuff like that. Last year's one after COVID wasn't the best, but they reckon this year is going to be a lot better. So go and have a look at this. It seems to have a big focus on AI, which is like everything currently in the world. So yeah.
I do want to say that Ignite. I used to go to Ignite in person. In last one in person was in Orlando, which was great.
Yes.
When I started focusing more on the cloud native world, Kubernetes, that kind of thing, my interest shifted more to events like Build because they're more developer focused. Now, I'm not a developer, but you see that a lot of developer related things like that happens in Kubernetes and CNCF projects are, they're being discussed at events like Build because it's more developer focused, and where Ignite is more, I don't want to discredit it, but a little more platform focused perhaps. So I do see a shift in interest from things like Ignite to Build.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, so Build used to happen in was it Las Vegas or something like that? I think, or was that that might have been Inspire?
No, that was Inspire.
Yeah. So Build has happened in different places, but last year it was at the same place Ignite's happening. Oh wow, this year it was, and it was apparently a really good conference and some really cool stuff came out of it. So if you had to pick Ignite or Build, probably Build, I would say, if you're in that cloud native world, for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And then we're up on time already. That went quick.
Oh wow, that was good.
Very quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I could have carried on going.
Yeah. No, me too. Yeah. We need to have a discussion with our friend Karl on what we're going to talk about next week. So we'll announce that very shortly. Other than that,
I won't be here next week because I'll be on holiday, probably on an aeroplane.
I will have a meeting with Karl to discuss what we're going to be talking about. Maybe Cilium.
Yeah, could be.
Wow.
Or you could use there's been a lot of talk about KubeVirt, so the virtual machines in Kubernetes recently. So maybe you could do something with that. And then I'm not going to be here to.
You just want us
go
to
like
talk
this
about
all
that,
the-
so you're not here, and then we talk about it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that, I think. I mean, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this at a later time, hope to see you all next week. And with that, we're out. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.